you guys, my name is Janelle. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, just plain old welcome. Today I kind of have like a hodgepodge of a video. I have some updates that I'll show on, how I organize my plants, so like new plant lights, new plant hangers. So I'll show that, and then I also want to do like a 2025 wish list. That'll be really fun to go through because I've got my eye on some really pretty plants that I would love to add to my collection. And then I also have some big box store finds / big box store rehabs. I got a couple plants on clearance that are in rough shape. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys those, and we'll start off there. So the biggest box store I went to was Lowe's. I actually had a lot of issues with my kitchen sink this past week because we were in super cold, like well below freezing temperatures, and my pipes froze. And then I had to like cut a hole in the cabinet and do this whole thing, warm up the pipes. And it was like every day after work all week. And then I had to like work from home one day to have a furnace guy come in because the furnace was turning off and not turning back on, and you would have to like go down the basement and reset it. So it's just been one of those weeks. And when we got the pipes for the sink unfrozen, it like kicked up sediment in the pipes that clogged our faucet. So I had to like take the faucet off, and I couldn't get it cleared. So then I bought a new faucet and put that on. I mean, it was a whole adventure this week, you guys, no joke. So anyways, I went to Lowe's like 4 times, and I bought plants almost every time that I went. So first of all, let's look at the really nice plant I got at Lowe's, and it was only like $17, and it is this huge Scindapsus pictus exotica. Pretty sure that's the exotica. The leaf size is really large, very silvery. So I mean, look at that. It's beautiful, and it's trailing. Oh my gosh, you guys. And it's so thick and dense on top that I legit had a hard time watering it when I brought it home. So she's beautiful. What a find. I'm very happy with it. I also really like this color combo. Normally I'm like, they come in such ugly nursery pots, and you always like, I have to fight the urge to repot them right away, and I'm just like, just chill, just let them settle in. But I actually really like this color, this like maroon color with the green, and I think it goes really well with my living room because my living room is kind of this like dark green, and I have sort of like the living room and dining room have a like pink and green kind of vibe going on. That's sort of my main color scheme of these two rooms, so I love it, and I think I probably will not repot it. Okay. I just pulled a leaf off of both of these plants. Oh my gosh. We'll prop that guy, whatever. But I also broke off this leaf. So let's go to the rehab. So these ones need help. They're almost dead. I got them on clearance at Lowe's, but I think that there is enough green on them that they'll survive. This is a philodendron tortum. So again, I think these rehab ones were like $10 maybe, which honestly is overpriced for a half dead plant. Like, Lowe's, were you thinking you should be giving them away? So this is the philodendron tortum. It was definitely underwatered. I think when they get plants at Lowe's, they like, I don't know that they get watered ever, because when I was there, like, there was a whole back wall of plants that were all completely dead. They're still out on the floor. They're just completely dead. There's like a handful of plants that were in there that were kind of alive still. So I don't know that anybody's watering these poor things. So anyways, I got this tortum. I watered it, and it's already sort of like perked up. It's definitely more firm and not as floppy as it was. Like, this leaf is okay. There's some yellowing on it. This leaf is okay. So we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, there is a new growth point up here, but unfortunately it has sort of crisped off already from being too dry at the store. So we'll see where it shoots off some new growth from. I'm not really sure what it's gonna do, but I think it'll be okay. Like I said, it perked out when I watered it, so I think the roots are still okay. Next up, another rehab. So by the way, both of these plants, these first two plants I'm gonna show you, had quite a lot of dead leaves on them. So I've cleaned them up, and this is what's left of them. So this next one is a Scindapsus, I think it's a Trebbii Moonlights. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what it is. Yeah. So this one has some like really nice, healthy growth still on it. So I think that this one will be fine. And it already has some like nice new growth points on it. So I think this one's gonna be okay, you guys. And then the last one that I got as a rehab is actually pretty nice. I did have to remove some dead leaves off of it, but this is it. It's a black velvet. This leaf was closed when I bought it, so it is opened. You can see there is damage on it, but that's okay. But then it still had this one really nice leaf on it. So I mean, like, that's gorgeous. I used to have a black velvet, and it was one of the plants that didn't make it when I moved. I gave it away. It only had like one leaf on it. I think it was like a humidity and cold thing in my old house. At this house, I am making a much more concerted effort to keep the conditions more ideal in the winter. So, you know, I've got a giant humidifier, I've got grow lights. So I'm even like keeping the house warmer than I used to. I think at my old house, I kept the thermostat at like 65, which I know is insane, but that's just kind of what I did. And so at this house, I'm keeping it just like a little bit warmer, like 70 degrees. So I think so far my plants are really liking the grow lights and the heat and the humidifier. So things are going a lot better this year than they have in the past. I pretty much always lost plants every winter for the last several years. There was always at least one that wouldn't make it. And this year we've crested January. We're in the end days of January, and I haven't lost a single plant, you guys. The Macotes Patola needed to be put in the prop box, but that was sort of maybe like the only pseudo casualty, but it's like not even really dead. It just is mostly dead. So we'll see what we can do. All right, let's get into my wish list plants. I'm gonna like move this a little bit so that I can put, there we go. Now I can put pictures over on this side. So I wrote down a whole list. So I'm gonna go through them basically by like plant type. So we're gonna start out with philodendrons. On my 2025 wish list, I have a pink micans. Because micans are so prolific, you can actually find these pink variegated micans for fairly inexpensive online. I've seen ones on Etsy as low as like $10. I mean, usually that's just a small cutting, but that's still like a really reasonable price for a plant. I love the color. Like I said, the combination of green and pink is like one of my favorite color combinations. It's so beautiful. I love pink, I love green. My living room and my dining room are very much on theme for that. So having one of the variegated micans would just be so beautiful. And yeah, I really would love one of the ones that's like a pink and green, sort of like half moon style variegation. Oh my gosh, that would be so pretty. Okay, next up, this has been on my wish list for years, and they're not even expensive, and I don't know why I haven't just bought one. I should just buy one. Oh my gosh. It's a philodendron silver sword. They're not expensive. They're actually really, really inexpensive. And I just love that sort of bluey green color. They're just gorgeous. And you know, they don't really size up super big, but I think that they can grow pretty tall without, you know, needing to be like an official climber where they want to root into a pole or something. You can just sort of like grow them and have them attached to just like a regular, like a bamboo stake or something like that. And I've seen really pretty ones online, and I just think they're gorgeous. And honestly, when they do size up and become more mature and get bigger leaves, they start to lose some of that like bluey green silver color. So I would like to keep just like a nice little compact plant anyways. So, I mean, I think if you go back and watch my like 2022 wish list or whatever, the silver sword is on there and I still have not gotten it. So I just need to buy it. Next up is the Philodendron Florida Ghost. Same thing, I actually want one of these mostly because there is a gorgeous one in Wild Ferns videos that she has just sort of trailing off of the top of her cabinets or something like that. And it's in a relatively small pot and it's a huge plant. Like all the leaves are good size. It's a really long, like a single tendril of a plant, but they're just so funky. The leaf shape is so cool. The variegation I think is really lovely. So I definitely really would like to have a Florida Ghost. There's also a Florida Beauty and a Florida Ghost Mint or something like that, but I think I just want like the straight up Florida Ghost. So, and then last is the Philodendron Splendid, which I believe is a cross between Melanochrysum and Philodendron Gloriosum. And supposedly it's easier to care for either of those. And it has the nice velvety leaves that get nice and big, with a little bit of a red back. So I just think that they're gorgeous plants. I like the thought of a striking looking philodendron like that gets those big velvety leaves that is easy to care for. So I just would love to get one and try my hand at it. So that is also on my list. And that rounds out the philodendrons. So that's quite a few philodendrons. I would be really happy if I got 2 of those this year. So half. Next up, let's talk anthuriums. I don't have very many anthuriums on my list. They're not my favorite, I think because they require, or not require, but they like much higher humidity than I have in the winter time. So just getting them to make it through the winter is difficult for me. But I think that they're beautiful and I wish that I could have more. Maybe someday I'll get like one of the IKEA cabinets and make a greenhouse or something like that. But, you know, I'm not doing that. I have like, just like little ones like this. Like this is an anthurium in here. I have begonias in the bigger little terrarium I have upstairs. So, but it would be nice to get like one of those big cabinets sometime. Well, maybe I'll do that. Maybe that should be like my big project this year. My big planting project is just get one of those. I would love to get a like curio cabinet, like a wooden one, and retrofit that instead of buying one of the metal IKEA ones. But anyways, I digress. I'm getting totally off topic. So my 2025 wish list anthuriums are Anthurium vitirifolium. I think vitirifolium sounds better. Anyways, it is a beautiful anthurium. Long strappy leaves. I would love to have one on the top of my hutch, sort of like, you know, hanging down on that corner there. I think that's a spot that like could really use a little bit of plantiness, and they're so gorgeous. Again, you can tell that I watch Wild Fern on YouTube a lot because a lot of my wish list is inspired by plants in her collection that I am particularly fond of and blown away by, and every time I see them in her videos, I'm just like, I want one of those. So this is one of those, and it's beautiful. There's another kind of anthurium that has really long strappy leaves that I can't remember the name of. So I suppose either one of those I would be happy with. Anyways, let's see. The next anthurium is Queen, the Warocqueanum. They're just gorgeous. You can't deny their stunning beauty. They're such a beautiful plant. They have sort of like a long, dark, strappy leaf that also has very stunning veination on it. It's kind of everything that you would want in an anthurium. It has all of the best qualities that people love in anthuriums. And I did try to buy one, and it was in that Ecuagenera order that didn't have any heat protection, and everything died. So it's still on my wish list. I wish that it had lived, but it did not. So here we are. That rounds out the anthuriums. Only 2 anthuriums. Like I said, they're a little trickier for me, so I don't want to go crazy. Next is begonias. I'm having a begonia moment. I think I'm starting to figure out begonias and have really nice ones. All of the begonias I have in my terrarium upstairs are doing wonderfully, so there's that. But I want to try my hand at more anthuriums that do well in lower humidity, aka ones I don't have to put in a terrarium. So I have a begonia maculata that's doing really well, and it's just sort of like upstairs in staircase, and it doesn't have additional humidity or anything like that. So there's a couple more that I would like to try. So one is Begonia polensis, which is like a stunning sort of satellite dish looking thing. It's really cool. It has like fuzzy petioles and then like this really cool sort of like cobweb texture design on the leaves. They're like really funky and really neat. And I would love to grow one of those. And I've heard that they can handle a little bit lower humidity. So Begonia listata is another one that I've heard grows really well, just like out in the room humidity, can get really big. And it has like this really pretty dark leaf. The leaves aren't super big, they're kind of small, but it's like a dark leaf with a really stunning like bright green stripe down the center. And so all the leaves look like that. So when you have like a nice big full plant, it's like really stunning looking. And then I saw this one on Etsy and it's super cute, and I would love to get it for one of my little, I have like some little like glass, almost like a bell jar. I'll do some B-roll, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But really cute like little glass, like cloches I guess you could call them. And I would love to put a begonia called Begonia micro strawberry. So it's like, you know, your classic strawberry begonia, but it's teeny tiny little leaves. I think they're really cute. I would love to have one of those. And there also is, I would like to get a more gothic looking, like really dark angel wing begonia. I think a good example of that is the Fanny Moser. I would love to try out one of those. I do also enjoy kind of just going on the Steve's Leaves website and just browsing the begonias. So maybe I'll do a Steve's Leaves purchase this year and get a couple of begonias. I really wish that Steve's Leaves would, because you can organize and look at begonias by type. I wish that they would organize them in like 2 different categories so that you could look at all the ones that are okay in like sub 50% humidity and the ones that need 50 plus humidity. I really wish that you could like search that way. That would be awesome. Anyways, let's move on. That's the last of the begonias. Next up, I'm going to talk about Hoyas, and I have actually quite a few Hoyas, and I'm a little surprised. I don't think I'll get most of these, but I have Hoya calistophylla, which has like a really pretty big leaf. I have like a Hoya caryi and I have a Hoya obovata, but I don't have any Hoya that get like super big leaves, and I don't have any Hoya that have like a pattern, like a vein pattern on their leaves, and calistophylla has both of those. They're very striking veins, very beautiful leaves, and the leaves get really big. And of course they have stunning flowers, but when it comes to Hoya, I think I don't really rely on what the flowers look like, because the ones that I have in my collection, I've had, like the obovata has flowered twice, but that's it. It didn't flower at all this past year. And then I used to have a Bella, but I got rid of it. So I don't really count on the Hoya's flowers, because like my Crimson Princess has never flowered. And it's huge, it's healthy. I don't understand. Anyways, I digress. Also Hoya polynura is beautiful. It reminds me of like fishtails. and they're really pretty. And it also has like a really nice dark deep green, and I just think they're gorgeous and stunning and lovely, and I would really like to have one. They also can get pretty big. I think they're good growers. You know, some Hoya are a little slow, and they get like the long tendrils, and then it takes a while for those to fill out with leaves. So they can be a little like weird and wispy looking, and the Polyneura doesn't really do that. It's a much more like compact looking plant, which I like. Next up is a Hoya serpens. I love this plant. I wish it wasn't so expensive because it is cute as heck. It's got these tiny little leaves that are shaped like a little snake head, and they're like textured and bumpy. Oh my gosh, it's so freaking cute, and I want one so bad. But we'll see if we get that one because it is expensive. I'm talking like you get a cutting with 2 little leaves on it, and it's like $30, $60. So we might not get that one. The last Hoya on my wish list is a pretty common one, so I think I will be able to get my hands on it. It's Hoya curtisii. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this one already. It is one that you can come across at big box stores even. It's got really lovely silver splashing on it and these like teeny tiny dainty little leaves. And it also is a plant that is known to like grow really full and get really compact. So that is definitely one that I would love to get my hands on. And I'm looking for more Hoya that I can hang up because I just put that rod in the window in the kitchen, and I really would like to hang a bunch of Hoya there. So I need to get some hanging Hoya with like nice tendrily growth patterns. 2 more things on my list. One is a Thai pink lipstick plant. I love my black pagoda lipstick plant. I think it's so beautiful. It grows like a weed. It's very happy. But I don't like that it has green flowers. The flowers are kind of snooze fest. The Thai pink has really gorgeous flowers. So that's on my wish list. I just really want one. And you know what? It's good to get kind of some plants that are outside of like, you know, you think of like the big plant varieties that everyone wants, like the really popular ones. Like I love philodendrons. They grow really easy for me. They're one of my favorite varieties of plants. I have tons of philodendrons. And then there's anthuriums and alocasias. But there are like a lot of plants that are sort of outside of these really big popular plant groups that are totally worth having and gorgeous and wonderful. So I would like another lipstick plant, and then I want some more gesneriids. I don't know gesneriids? I don't know how to say this word, but it's basically plants in the African violet family. There's lots of different kinds of plants that are related to African violets. I have always loved growing African violets. I used to have a bunch of them, and now I only have one. But I would love to experiment more with those. I used to have, oh gosh, what was it called? A gloxinia. Gorgeous cup-shaped flowers that are just so beautiful. I'll try to put a lot of examples over here on the screen of these different kinds of plants that are related to African violets. But I would really like to experiment more with those. They're all flowering plants, so that is something that I'm really into. I'm really into flowering plants, so I would like to get some more of those. And that is the end of my 2025 wish list. There is a lot of plants on that wish list. We'll see how many I actually get, especially since I'm definitely going to do some outside gardening this year. My yard is just very bare bones. The previous owner did not garden at all. So I have a lot of plans, a lot of big plans. So we'll see how much I get done indoor plant wise if I'm spending a lot of time outdoor plant wise. I have a couple updates on my plant area. The first big update is I got this huge humidifier. It holds about 5 gallons of water, and it's awesome. I love it. It actually has a spot for 4 of these hoses, but I wanted to be able to put it in the corner. and I didn't want any humidity to sort of go up against the wall and maybe cause like a mold issue. So I closed off those back 2 ports with just a little bit of press and seal and some rubber bands, and it's working just fine. So now we've just got 2 directions for the humidity. Now we just have 2 directions for the humidity. And I put all of my humidity loving plants right next to it. So I rearranged a little bit. You'll see that I have alocasia, anthurium, my staghorn fern, another anthurium, and my fibrosum, which is not doing too well. And I think that this is a humidity issue. Either that or it didn't like being directly under a grow light. So we're gonna see what it is. It's no longer directly under a grow light, and it is right underneath this nice humidity. I will say though, I have this set to 50. The top number is the humidity, and it sort of toggles between what I have it set at, which is 50, and what it actually is, which is 35. And let me tell you, this thing has been running nonstop for days now, and it has not gotten above 40. So I think that's because the humidity obviously is really, really low in this room, but also this is a giant room. This is my dining room, and my living room is like one big room. So it's working hard, you guys. I also did another grow light. I want to get like a nice shade, like maybe a paper lantern for it, but I'm looking for something that won't like block the light coming from underneath it. So that's kind of, I'm looking for something specific, and I might end up just making something. I'm not sure yet. So I hung that's for my monstera and my red emeralds, and then I have a couple more plants here. I also put a light. This is so cute. I stacked up some books, and I put this light on top so it'd be nice and tall, and that light is specifically just for my beautiful Queen of the Night cactus. So it seems like it likes it so far. And then also I'll put in some footage of me hanging these up, maybe. I don't know how the footage came out, but I hung up 2 like plant rods. You can see the dowel is like barely long enough. I should have measured better. So, but this is nice. I have this beautiful Scindapsus. Scindapsus, I believe this is the Exotica. Look at that. She's beautiful. And then I have and I also hung one here in the kitchen. I would like to maybe put my Hoya in here, but I still have to get some S-hooks that I ordered. I'm still waiting on those, so I haven't really been able to hang up most of my hanging plants yet. So I will put that in the end of this video probably. That is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any plants that you can't wait to get in 2025. I'd love to hear from you and get maybe even a little bit more inspiration, even though I already have quite the list of things that I would like for this year. So yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, and have a great day. Bye-bye.